Do you condemn riots and burning down buildings after a police use of force incident you don't like?
No, what I'll say is I understand when a police officer unjustifiably kills someone, why people lash out. I understand that completely.
I didn't ask. Why can't you answer the question?
I'm not going to condemn.
You can't answer the
nor
question.
am I going to condone it.
A Black Lives Matter leader making his message clear after threatening violence and even bloodshed if New York City's mayor-elect brings back the city's anti-crime police unit. Here with more from that interview, former NYPD officer and Unfiltered host Dan Bongino. Good morning, Dan.
Hey, good to see you.
Good morning.
Thanks for
Good to see you. We watched that interview Saturday. It's been all over the internet. He stormed off the set, said, "God bless you," but you clearly did not agree, and you called him a coward. What's your reaction today?
Yeah, well, he is. You know, I really get tired of all these fake tough guys who, you know, they want to implicitly condone violence and the burning down of other people's property, you know, not theirs. So he goes out in front of friendly media, Hawk. He's done this now a couple times. And he does this like kind of too cute by half wink and nod, like, hey, you know, if violence happens, you know, it might not be a bad thing. I mean, bloodshed in the streets, riots, but I'm not condoning it. And then, you know, nobody seems to call him out on it, which I find strange. So I made the question very simple. I distilled it down to a very easy answer for him, Ainsley, that he could have given. Do you or do you not condemn violence in response to a police use of force incident you don't agree with? The question can't get any simpler. I can tell you my answer, no problem. I absolutely condemn violence in response to police use of force incidents I don't like. He couldn't do it. It's a simple question. And you know, how come more people in the media, the Don Lemons and the Brian Stelters of the world, who, by the way, have a big problem with Kyle Rittenhouse defending his own life when it's pretty clear his life was in immediate danger, a guy putting a pistol in his face, they can condemn that immediately. And yet they can't condemn a guy who seems to be winking and nodding at the burning down of other people's property and violence directed at them, even though they had nothing to do with a police use of force incident? I mean, this is just bizarre. Why does this guy get a pass? The answer is because he's a protected class. He's advocating a Democrat policy, and that's a protected class with today's media. They're not, you can't touch them.
Dan, I know that you moved down to Florida. A lot of others are doing that too, leaving New York, high-tax state, and more crime up here. Is that why we're seeing NYPD officers flocking down to Florida now, taking jobs there? The governor offering $5,000 bonuses for out-of-state officers?
You know, I just ran into, no joke, I just ran into a guy at a gym this weekend. He was signing up. He's, hey, you Dan from Fog? Yeah, we got a long conversation. I said, what are you doing down here in Florida? He goes, well, my dream job was the NYPD, but I'm going to become a Palm Beach County sheriff because I had to get out of New York because, you know, you'll find yourself in handcuffs in New York for arresting people and trying to get the bad guys off the street. And I thought, wow, like there's an example right there in front of you. But it just goes back to that, not to go back to the interview, a prior question, but another thing Hawk said, you know, street crime in New York, which were the plainclothes, kind of anti-crime, street crime officers. You have no idea, if you weren't there, how many guns and bad guys they took off the street and how many black lives were actually saved by quality plainclothes policing. Were there bad incidents, Ainsley? Yes. Were there abuses of force? Of course. But Hawk's like, hey, we can't bring that back. It just goes to show you how they don't think deeply about the issue. They think in sound bites so they can get in the newspaper. And if people in the media would call them out, we'd have this nonsense stop tomorrow. But they don't. They just give them a pass.